Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Tour Pro Talks. I'm Genevieve White. I'm a copywriter and coach, and I help travel and tour professionals write confident copy, grow their audience, and make more money. And this week, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by the wonderful Mirna Cemalovic Kukrica. Did I get that right, Mirna?
Yes, okay.
We were
Kukrica.
okay. You don't seem too sure. We were practicing a little bit before the show started, I have to say. And Mirna's here today to tell us all about how to craft kid-friendly tours. And I know there's been so much interest in this topic. So if you're here, please do say hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and of course, if you've got any questions for Mirna, do put them in the comments because we'd love to hear from you. So first of all, welcome, Mirna. I know you've been very busy today. You've actually been doing a tour this morning, haven't you?
Yes. I was rushing to come back, and I'm so happy that I'm living in a small city where there is not a big traffic that will stop me to be here on time today. So yes, thank you for your invite, and it's a real pleasure to talk with you, and of course to talk about something that I really like doing. And yes, it's I was really looking forward to this, to be honest. Yes.
Oh, that's good. It's so lovely to have you here. And tell us a little bit, first of all, let's just get started by you could tell us what inspired you to do these kids tours in the first place.
What inspired me are my kids.
Mm.
So obviously, I like doing these tours kind of spontaneously with my kids, and I would always be joking that those are pro bono tours that I will do with my boys and my husband and family, because we live in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Mostar is just fifth biggest city of Bosnia and Herzegovina, but it is located in such a perfect way that everything is, let's say, everything that we can explore that is fun for, let's say, half day or afternoon activity is within an hour or 2 hours of driving distance. So basically, every sunny, lovely day when we are in the mood and when we have time would be the time for little adventures. I would share that with my kids, and I'm always like, we are going to adventure, and just put them in a car, and where we are going, I would say, I don't know. And then always will be exploring something. And yes, so what inspired me more to start crafting the tours that are family friendly, kids friendly, is the fact that traveling with kids really is not easy sometimes. And I would have guests with family, with kids, with strollers, with that, as I would call it, a backpack, but it's actually a baby carrier. And I always kind of feel them being nervous about tour and everything. And I always wanted to adjust in every possible way to the kids, and when I have kids and families in the group, because I know that I always appreciate it when I'm traveling. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It can be very challenging traveling with kids, and especially if you're wanting to then see the sights, but you're maybe worried about how your child is going to engage with the things that you're showing them, and you don't want them to disturb other travelers maybe as well.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your techniques. I mean, how do you manage to engage children when you're talking to them about the culture and the history of your destination?
So Mostar is city with very turbulent and interesting history, and we were influenced by so many different emperors and different styles and different kings and dukes and whatnot else. And old town in Mostar is, as I would always say, fairy tale like. So it's very inviting and inspiring to start talking like we are in a fairy tale. So I would always, of course, adjust in a way that I won't talk too much about the years or details or some names and things like that. I would always assure that it is brief sentences, and that I'm engaging and talking mostly with the kids and asking them questions and how they feel it in their own region, their own city, and everything that we are discussing, we are finding a way to make them feel comfortable, of course, and how that is not something too strange for them. So it wouldn't be rare that at some point or another that I will start my stories with once upon a time there was an architect who was sent to this city and whose only job was to make this brilliant bridge, so and so on and so on. And of course, making shorter stops, more movement, more avoiding the crowds, and making tour in a way that they don't have to stop at one place 5, 6, 7 minutes and listening for me talking with their parents. So that is it. I always like to engage more with kids because then, of course, the parents and adults are more relaxed because they don't have to shush their kids while I'm talking. Like, shh, shh, shh. So I don't like that. I don't want that. Let the kids be kids. And if I know what I want to say, some kid yelling cannot distract me in a way that I cannot finish my sentence or just move on to something next. So yes, in order to make parents, adults relaxed, their kids have to be okay with what's happening all around. Because, and of course, finding every place and assuring that their needs are satisfied. Like let's do all of it first. You need a toilet, you need a restroom, you need this, you need that, you need to change, whatever. Let's do that, let's move that from the way, and then we can talk about architects and nice sites and culture or whatever.
Yeah, so there's loads of really useful tips you've provided there. And I think, what you've just said there, flexibility really then is key, isn't it? Because
flexibility is the key. And of course, you cannot be flexible if you are not 100% confident in what you are doing. If you are not confident, if you don't know what you are about to do and what you want to say, you are holding to that routine and that is it. Like you only have your routine in mind and please don't change anything. But in order to be flexible, you have to be confident and you have to be knowledgeable. Of course, to adjust to everything.
Yeah, because the thing about children as well is they can take you off in so many different tangents and you never know what sort of questions they're going to ask you. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, I find it easier and fun that when I know that I will have family, like always when I have tours, I will know, like, especially if they are private tours, I'll know who to expect on my tour. And then I have closet full of Pokémon T-shirts, Paw Patrol, I don't know, Harry Potter, and I made that part of my outfit when I'm tour guide for families and kids and so on. Who knows? Maybe that kid really likes Pokemon, and we will engage over Pikachu, and we will connect over Harry Potter and Dobby, and yes. So it's there are ways to adjust and to connect with young travelers. Let's not say kids all the time, because it's not only about toddlers and very young kids. It's about young travelers. So they can be teenagers that you have to adjust to them as well. You cannot.
That's a whole different ball game as well. Working with teenagers.
That's fun.
Okay, so. And also, I mean, that's really useful, all you've just said. And I'm wondering though, does it ever happen that you have like a tour and there's maybe some adults on the tour, just maybe, adults on their own without children, and then there's a family group with children? And does that ever cause any tension? And if so, how do you handle that?
It is not rare to have in Mostar day trips from some other cities. And then there are big groups traveling together, like 40, 50 people in one bus. And if there is a kid that was crying all the time, of course, everyone is out and really angry. And their day didn't start the way they were thinking because there was a crying baby in the bus and everything similar. And the way how to handle this is to be kind of like mediator between both sides. Because, of course, the first thing that they will cut out of the bus and they will say, oh, my God, that baby was crying the whole time on the road and everything. And then there will be parent who is, of course, frustrated because no one is happy when their kid is crying, and they all see what's happening. So try to be medium between both sides and do the best possible to make their time out of the bus.
Yeah.
Great. Great, and then just I will also share that I'm myself am mom, and that I know how hard and challenging can sometimes be when you are not in your common area, when you're traveling. And I'll always say that people who are traveling with toddlers, babies, and small kids are superheroes in my mind, and that should be really respected, because the easiest thing to do is to stay in your neighborhood and to stay within your city and not to travel and wait for the kids to grow up to travel. But then you're missing out a lot. So why would someone miss out because their kid is small, and they will have to they have to think about someone in the bus who might be annoyed if their child is, I don't know, not feeling great. So yes, let's be supportive of those superheroes who are traveling with kids.
I know it's not easy. I can say that from my experience as well.
Yes, but it's fun. It's not easy, but it can be great.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they would say the kids might not remember it, but we will. So let's use all of the time that we have. And maybe if we're thinking that today is challenging, there will be more charm in it, because we know that we manage it in such a great way.
Yeah, exactly. You have that sense of achievement, don't you, when you've
Yeah,
successfully managed a trip with some small
yeah.
children.
I was. Yeah.
Okay, just a quick minute to break away from the chat for a moment and say to anyone who's just started to watch us, you've joined Tour Pro Talks. I'm here with Mirna today, and we're talking about how to craft a kid-friendly tour. And do feel free to put your comments and questions in the comments. Let us know where you're from, and if you've got anything you'd like to ask Mirna as well. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit now, Mirna, if I may, about the two different types of kid-friendly tours you offer, because I know part of your offering is for people, international tourists or tourists who are not from Mostar coming with their children. So that's maybe just kind of what you've been speaking about a little bit more
Mhm.
there. You also work with local children, don't you? And can you tell me a little bit about that? How you started doing that, why you started doing that, and what your process is?
Yes, thank you. So I started doing more of those tours in 2019, 2020, and in those, let's call them pandemic years, because the rule was that we can travel locally, and we had more and more guests from the area and from the region visiting. So we would have school trips and elementary school, high school, that will be organizing their trips instead of some neighbor countries that they will organize trip locally and they will travel locally. So for example, from the capital to Mostar or any other part. And when someone starts tour guiding in English or French, I don't know, whatever, German, whatever other language is, that most of the tour guides will not be 100% comfortable doing the tours in their native language.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my colleagues, they said that, oh, I really don't want to do the tours in my own language because it's funny, I sound funny, and like it's easier to work with tourists and with guests, I would say. And that is something that I want to change. And I started doing more and more tours within the area that is on my native language, on Bosnian, that is also very similar to Croatian to Serbian. So it is, you can use one language and everyone will understand. And yes, I started doing that more with the school trips that booked the tours and trips to Mostar. But then also, when we say locally, I was also working a lot with schools and kindergartens from Mostar, from Herzegovina region, because I noticed, and I remember on my own example, that I started learning more things from my own city when I started working as a tour guide. And through education, okay, we will learn. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, we have really great educational system, and we will learn a lot by, I don't know, we are always making jokes that we learn how many sheep there are in Australia and things like that. But yes, we would learn everything about everything, but then we will miss out on some important personas that are not too famous from Mostar, but they left a mark. And there is a reason why the bridge is called like that, and why that street is carrying the name of that person, and so on. So I wanted to awake that curiosity with the kids from here and to inspire them to learn more, and in the way to love their city, to just grow their love for their hometown. So also one of the reasons why I started doing these tours is that I made a coloring book for kids. And as one of my friends will say, for kids and for everyone who has something childish in their hearts.
Yeah.
So we made illustrated coloring book with short stories about each and every location. That will be the old bridge, or I don't know, the schools, mosques, churches in Mostar, and so on. And I wanted to educate kids through that coloring book, because we all know that through the game and through fun we learn easier. So if they color the old bridge, let's say, or some other nice monument, and then they read a story about it, they'll remember it easier. And I started doing these tours with kindergartens and with schools here, and it's really fun to see how the kids that grew up like 2 blocks away from the site that I'm talking about and showing them, they have no idea what's happening. They have no idea what is that and why is that, and I can just connect that with a very, very, very busy lifestyle.
Yeah.
So when we are out to the kids and so on, we will take them to the park, and we will just say, okay, you play, yeah, be careful on the slide, and that's it. But let's provide value in afternoon walk. If you're passing right next to some beautiful building or some monument with your kid in random afternoon walk, share the story about it. If you don't know the story, Google it. find find informations and provide it for your kids, because yes, if we help kids love their hometown, they would be little ambassadors anywhere else in the world in the years to come.
I think that's so true, Mirna, and it's such a valuable service you're offering, and such good advice you're giving as well, because I think in so many countries around the world, no matter how good the education service is, so often we grow up with very little knowledge about our hometown, about our home city. So it's absolutely amazing. And your colouring book sounds lovely. I'm sure either in the newsletter I do next week, or you can also go and have a look at the colouring book you'll have pictures of it on your Instagram, won't you, Mirna? So
Yes, yes.
yeah, you'll be able to go and check it out for yourself. Who knows, it might inspire you to do something similar for your own hometown. Now, we've got some comments which weren't coming up on my computer, but strangely, they're coming up on my phone. So we'll just say hello to some of the people now who are watching. Daniela Robinson, hello, Daniela, says, that's a great and important subject. I find that if you make the kids happy on tour, the parents will be happy too. So it's very true. And Shabani Yunus says, that's great. And Quarry Travel Service says, what's the main theme? Well, hopefully you've got an understanding of what the theme is now, having heard us talk. But today we're doing crafting kid-friendly tours. And this is Mirna Cemalovic Kukrica, who is an expert on the subject, leading her own child-friendly tours in her hometown of Mostar in Bosnia. So, Mirna, tell me a little bit, because I'm really interested in your colouring book as well. I mean, what was the process? How did you go about, designing it and publishing it? Because I do think this is an idea that maybe quite a few tour guides with artistic skills might be interested in exploring for their own destination.
Yes. So I was thinking about it for a couple of years, but it was just not the right time to start on something like that, because I knew that once I start working on it, that it will take all of my time and my energy, and I wanted to make it as a souvenir, kind of, because I'm not sure if you're like in the cities around how much of the space and the tourists and souvenirs are kids friendly. So I wanted to offer something so the kids can immediately start working on, or we are all, I would say, sensitive to our kids when we are traveling around. If the kids are not with us, we are all constantly thinking, what can we get for our kids?
Mhm.
Because the first thing that my kids are asking me when I was out on a tour for a couple days, or they haven't seen me in a couple days, maybe, yes, I was working. The first thing that they will ask, what did I get them? What did I bought for them?
Yep.
And that is universal thing. I believe that whoever is traveling, they're always thinking about, I have to bring something to my kids and to my grandkids. So that was the idea.
Mhm.
That is why I made a coloring book in English, in French, in German, in Turkish language, in Spanish, Polish, Italian, Bosnian language. And the process was that I'm not an artistic person. Okay, me drawing, it's that me and that not goes together. But I have a great friend who is a really artistic soul, and she just jumped in that process with me. I was saying, hey, I was thinking about doing this, and I don't think that I even finished the sentence, and she said yes. So yeah, she did all the illustration. My dear friend Selma, she did all the illustrations, and we designed it together. And there is like a little fig who is a tour guide, because it will be weird for me to draw myself in the coloring
Mhm.
book, and I would be a tour guide. So I decided to be a fig, because that is the most authentic fruit, sorry, that you can find in Mostar. And tree of fig is growing out of some random stone, random wall, maybe some ruin from the war in the 90s and aggression, Bosnia and Herzegovina. And yes, so that was inspiring moment to just connect those kids with coloring book. And yes, it is not only coloring book. There are not only illustrations. There are stories about
Mhm.
everything, written in a way that it is saying it in a way to joke around, but once upon a time there was this and that. And if you make it a rhyme a bit, it's even better.
Sounds amazing. And I mean, it's such a lovely interactive gift as well. It's not just like a sweetie or a teddy bear. Nothing wrong
Yes,
with that, but this
a
is really
magnet or
like,
something like that. And it is, I would say, super affordable, because I was thinking in a way that it will be easy, that it's not something, hey, I saw that, but it was really expensive. The coloring book is now in the old town in Mostar, selling for €5.
mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is really okay price, and I didn't want to make something that would be too expensive or something like that. So yes, it is something that I believe everyone who is traveling can afford for their kids. I didn't want kid to see it and then the parents be thinking, hey, I cannot afford that now.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's lovely. It's a lovely idea. And when you were setting up your tours for local children, I mean, what was the process for doing that? I mean, did you contact local schools? How did it work?
Yes. Um, I'm really blessed with the fact that I'm living in this, I would say, city where everyone knows everyone. Okay, so it's
Mhm.
easy. It was easier to approach to someone, but still, some nicely written emails can do a miracle. Um, I reached out to the principal of these schools, and I said, "Hey, I had this in mind. I want to do it in a way that we make it educational for kids, not only they out of the school, not out of school, but out of the classroom. But let's use some nice weather to do the tours with kids, and it can be like an hour long tour, because working with kids don't expect the kids to be concentrated on a tour longer than 45 minutes to 1 hour. It is just like in school. They can listen to you 45 minutes, and after 45 minutes, this one wants to go here and there. And if it's too hot, if it's too windy, if it's rainy or something like that, you just have to think about everything. So yes, I reached out to the principals, and mostly the first contacts were actually the private kindergartens and the private schools. And then it was like the public schools, because with dealing with public schools, there is more of, I would say, administrative issues and topics that you have to explain why, how, and everything. And when you're reaching out for private schools, there is less of that decision pyramid, I would say. Yeah. But when you're offering those, when you're offering something valuable, then there is no reason for someone to say no to you.
Yeah, yeah, and I can imagine they would have been very enthusiastic because it is
It
a
is
really,
really
a
fun.
really good offer.
It is so fun. I cannot find words to explain how funny it is to do those tours, because kids know a bit something about it. But especially, I'm always trying to do it in an interactive way. That I'm talking, that I'm asking questions, that I'm looking for their feedback. Hey, what do you think? And also, I always make like little song about it. For example, when we're talking about the old bridge, I would say the year when the bridge was made and who made the bridge, and we'll put it in a little song. And then we will be we'll be walking from point A to point B, singing that little song. And then they go home and they will sing the song for their parents, and their parents will reach out to me and say, "Hey, you're really crazy. Like you taught them in the way that it was, yes, kid friendly."
Oh, it sounds lovely. I mean, yeah, so it's just a blend of flexibility and spontaneity and creativity and just, yeah, just reaching out to the children and really connecting with them. So, yeah, it sounds, I'd love to come on one of your kid-friendly tours, really. I think it sounds brilliant.
I'll be more than happy to have you.
And do your own children give you some valuable feedback, when you
Oh
take
yes,
time
oh,
to
yes. It
yours?
is so fun to hear them, because my oldest kid, I have two boys, and my older son joined one of those tours because I was working with a group that is his kindergarten group,
Okay. Mhm.
and it was really fun because he wanted to share some stories. And then of course I would let him, okay, you want to say who built this, you want to say when this was made, you want to say why. And he would raise those two fingers and say, hey, can I say that? And it was really funny to see kids that know something trying to share that. And yes, it was really fun. And I would teach them some symbolics about, for example, Bosnian carpet. There are symbols about each and every design and things like that, and I know that kids don't know that. And then I explain why there is a turtle, symbol of turtle, why there is a turtle, why there is a symbol of this and that, and they remember it because it's interesting. And of course, what I noticed from these stories is that whatever you want them to remember, share it first.
Okay, yeah, they remember what they hear first. Yeah.
They remember what they hear first because they are still fresh, they are still excited, they are not tired,
Mm.
they're looking forward to it. And whatever I shared first, that is the topic that they can talk an hour about. But whatever I shared last, they have no idea what I said.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good idea when it comes to structuring your tours, definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, something we maybe just touched on very briefly, because I can see time is running out, believe it or not, is obviously this is not just a wonderful thing to do from a point of view of education and teaching the children about their local towns, but presumably it's a very practical move as well, because you'll be able to do this all year round, even when the tourist season is it's low season, when it's very quiet, because you'll be able to focus on your tours for children all year round, won't you?
Yes. Especially if you are living in touristic centers, in touristic areas, you know how crowded it can be during season. And then you can avoid the crowd, of course, by doing early morning tour, late afternoon. But that is not the perfect time of the day for the kids to start.
Yeah.
So yes, I would always like to offer tours in low part of the season, especially if you still have some nice weather, as we do here in Mostar all year around. We are really blessed with wonderful weather.
Mm. Lucky you is all I can say, because it's very rainy here today. Um, Mirna, we've learned so much from you. Do you have any last words you'd like to say, or maybe you'd like to tell people how they can find you if they'd like to find out more about your tours?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I would like to invite people to just start traveling, but don't wait for your kids to grow up. And I would also like to invite people to visit Mostar and to Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have some great flights now, connections with Sarajevo, with Mostar, even Dubrovnik, Split. Mostar is 2 hours of driving distance from Sarajevo, from Dubrovnik, from Split, and by visiting Mostar, you can visit so much around, and it can be such a nice trip because you can have an active vacation, a slow vacation. You can just chill out for a couple of days, and then you can do hiking, swimming, rafting, whatever it is that you want to do on your vacations. And we have so many tours that we are offering, and I believe it can really be a great place to make your base in. So yes, I'm available on my brand name is Mostarly Guide with an I at the end, Mostarly Guide, and I'm pretty active on Instagram and on LinkedIn as well, TripAdvisor, and yes, feel free to reach out. It will be a pleasure to help you organize and schedule your tour in Mostar or Bosnia and Herzegovina. Why not?
Yeah, I'd just like to second all of the things that Mirna has said there. She has a lovely Instagram. She's very active on Instagram. Lots of great little videos and stories and snippets. So she's really worth following. I'll make sure, just in case you didn't catch her Instagram handle there, I'll make sure to include it in the newsletter, or I'll maybe write it in the comments as well if you'd like to follow her. And also, I haven't been myself to Mostar for about 20 years or more, but I remember it as being one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited. And next time, I definitely know who I'm going to ask to be my tour guide. So thank you so much. And I'll bring my 4-year-old as well, Mirna. Well, she's nearly 4, so you
It
can.
will be fun. Yeah.
Yes.
So just let me know what is her favorite cartoon, and we'll figure
Oh,
something.
well, it's easy. Spider-Man.
Okay, it's done.
So to all of you who came along today, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for your comments, and thank you so much to Mirna. You've been a wonderful guest, and good luck with your tour guiding. And yeah, I can't wait to meet you in Mostar someday soon. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. It will be a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, and thank you everyone for joining this event.
Thank you.
Bye bye.